The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
75 years ago, its first retail location opened 20 miles outside of Los Angeles. The tiny 10 by 10 space not only became the cool place to hang out, it was home to an invention that would change how orders are placed at fast food restaurants around the world. With an unfaltering commitment to serving customers the freshest, highest quality food at an incredible price, it's no surprise its rabid fan base includes celebrities like Julia Roberts and Reese Witherspoon, and culinary titans like Gordon Ramsay and Thomas Keller. And though its menu might look small, for those in the know, it has a lot of secrets. So for all of those reasons, and because it's the only place I can order a double-double, animal style, no tomato, extra grilled onions, and extra cheese, protein style, that's why this week's episode of On Brand is on In-N-Out Burger.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
Hey, I'm Jon.
Hey, I'm Marisa.
So, before we get into the show, I would like to give a quick little shout out to a brand freak, Donna Yorty.
Ooh.
She posted that she was going through the last episode looking to see if there was an Easter egg to try to figure out what the episode was going to be about. Mm-hmm. She thought it might be Cheez-Its because we were talking about how we both like the extra toasted Cheez-Its. It is not that, but I was so happy that someone was like trying to find an Easter egg. There was an Easter egg in your last episode when I was talking about flash mobs and I was describing the different kinds. I said, in some of them, you just get in and out really quick.
Oh my God.
That was my little Easter egg that we're going to be doing an episode.
The Da Vinci Code is among us. This is wild.
Code, yes. So I don't know that I don't even know what my next episode is, so there's no Easter eggs in this episode.
That's very fun.
But I thought that was really fun that she tried to do that. So thank you, Donna Yorty.
I didn't know what the brand was, but you've alluded that you've done a lot of research for this episode. You said you read an entire book to prepare.
Read an entire book.
My God.
These are my notes. These are just the book notes.
Are you getting that Post-it crinkle on Mike?
My extensive notes. The president of In-N-Out, who is the granddaughter of the founder, released this book in October. I went to Silver Lake Library and grabbed it last week. And I'm not even kidding. This is the first time I've read an entire book since Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in 2007. I used to read all the time. And then after I started researching and having to look at like news and stuff, I kind of got away from reading books. So it was kind of nice to like read a book.
Yeah. And of course it was for research.
For,
Your one
that's
true love.
For research.
It looks like you're an overachieving college student in a class on In-N-Out. The amount of like sticky note tabs, flags in this book is wild.
There's a lot of information. It's a really interesting company. I definitely knew a lot, learned a lot. I'm hoping that'll be the case with you. But again, before we get into the show.
Yeah, so hit me with it. Jon, who are you pissed off at this week?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I wouldn't say that I'm pissed off, but if you would indulge me, I would like to bring up 559748 again, if I could.
Case number.
Okay. Do you remember the company?
Oh, God.
Hostess.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't remember, in August, I woke up to a response from Hostess regarding an email I had written them the night before and completely forgotten about.
I'm sure some people, like you'll wake up in the middle of the night, maybe you eat a half of a piece of cake or whatever in the middle of the night. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you send emails to companies who you feel have wronged you.
Well, or just like, I need to know what's up. Mm-hmm. I love a Suzy Q. It's a sandwich, like snack treat with a cream filling.
Mm-hmm. You love a cream filling.
I love a cream filling in all forms. And I realized that I haven't seen a Suzy Q in a while. So how am I going to find out? Quickly shoot an email to Suzy Q.
That's the easiest way to find out if they still exist. Did you try Googling?
Yeah, honey, I did. And then when you Google things like that, it'll be like, yeah, we've got them on Amazon. You can get a 12-pack for like $49.80. And you're like, wait, why are they so expensive? It's because it's one of the last boxes. You don't know if they're expired or not. I need to hear it from the source.
They were unearthed from like someone's storage unit or something.
Exactly. And I'm never going to buy, I won't say never, but I don't intend to ever buy a snack cake on eBay.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell.
Again, I won't say never. We're getting off track. So I wrote them in August, asked them what's up with Suzy Q's. I got this reply. We're sorry that you've been unable to find hostess Suzy Q's. Unfortunately, they've been discontinued. We know how disappointing it is to find a product that suits your taste that have moved off of the market. Now, I don't like the way they're phrasing this.
No.
Several
Not a human.
It's not a human. Several consumers have voiced similar views, and we are forwarding your concerns to the bakery manager in your area and our executive management team.
I think you and these several other people need to find each other. I think you need to get like an Airbnb for the weekend and just like really bond.
I would love to hang out with people that have the same interest as me. Isn't that what we're all trying to do?
Yeah,
if you,
connection,
if you
human
think about
spirit.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple nights ago, earlier this week, I was like, I haven't heard anything. They reached out to the bakery manager in my area. They reached out to the executive management team, and I haven't heard anything. So I'm just going to hit them up, see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I wrote them earlier this week and just said, hey, I'm circling back to see if there's been any movement on the return of Suzy Q's. I'm curious what the response was from the bakery manager. Have you heard anything from the executive management team? Since several consumers have voiced similar concerns as me, I'm cautiously optimistic that 2024 will see the return of this iconic snack.
Unbelievable.
So I'm like, that's fair. That's 5 months later.
Sure.
Let's just check in.
Very reasonable response. Very measured. You didn't lose your cool.
No, I was very kind about
Yeah.
it. I have a sweet tooth. I'd like to satisfy it with this particular snack.
Absolutely.
2 days later, I get a reply. We are sorry that you've been unable to find hostess Suzy Q's. Unfortunately, we have discontinued that particular item. We know how disappointing it is to find a product that suits your taste only to have it move off the market.
No.
Several consumers have voiced the similar views that we are forwarding your concerns to the bakery manager in your area and to our executive management team.
Let me tell you something. This is a hack. If a bakery manager in your area is a real job, you find them on LinkedIn.
It is now up to me
Yes.
to track down
Yes.
the bakery manager of West Coast Hostess.
Yes.
I accept that challenge.
Yes, you need to make a like LinkedIn premium profile where you can like email people without being connected to them.
Oh, I have to do it like through LinkedIn.
Yes,
I
through
just want to like,
LinkedIn.
hello.
You want to knock on their door in the middle of the night?
No, I want to go to like the Hostess Bakery,
Oh.
and I want to go not just to find out if Suzy Q's are coming back. I want to know if they were actually ever given my correspondence in August.
I don't think this is a real email. I think this is just like
either. I'm starting to think that this
straight to the
isn't
trash.
real. I don't even know that there's other customers that voice the same concerns that I did about Suzy Q's.
You know, I have a great idea. You need to send a reply about a different product and see if they say the same thing, the several.
I just didn't expect to be cut and pasted this early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I've been cut and pasted. I've been like, there's like, they probably have a keyboard. If it's a person, they're just at home. They're like, hey, if someone's asking about an expired thing, hit F1 and it'll send the reply.
It's not even somebody hitting F1. It's like they have like sensors that detect your like disappointed Suzy Q. They find that in the email and then the robot automatically like meet moop. You got meet moop.
I don't know what my next plan of action is. Maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's actually tracking down the bakery, but I will keep everyone informed.
And if you out there are one of the other several people who has reached out, Jon is interested in getting a Airbnb in Big Bear with you for 2 to 3 nights.
Yeah, let's spend a long weekend together and talk about all the snack cakes that we love. All right, so In and Out. So I did more than read the book. I went on a field trip last weekend.
Wild.
You wrote me and were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't tell her because if I say anything, she can track me. So she may look up and see that I'm in Baldwin Hills at the first In and Out location.
Yeah, this is rough for how secretive you like to be that I can track your every location.
I know. So I did. I went to Baldwin Hills. I went to In and Out University, just the exterior.
There's a university?
Oh, is there a university?
Oh my God, maybe I will go to college.
You can go to college there. You can make quite a good living
I've
through
heard.
In and Out. Mm-hmm. There's the In and Out company store.
Ooh.
There's a replica of the first location. So I did all that. I have a lot of pictures that I'll share on Instagram.
Wow, it's like a museum?
Yeah, and there's like one little In and Out guy that works in there till 2:00, and I visited him, Kenny. Very nice little guy.
You can eat there? Why do you keep saying he's little? How old is he?
He seemed like a fresh employee.
Okay.
Like, he seemed young.
A nice little guy.
And I'm like this old researcher. So here it is. Walk me through it, Kenny.
No, he's so used to it. He's like, you're doing a podcast about brands. Yeah.
No, they love it. Oh, my God.
Really?
I told the people at the company store to listen to the podcast and wrote the name of it. In the replica of the In-N-Out, there's a guest book, and I signed it John Glover, co-host of On Brand with
my
Jon and
God.
Marisa, hoping he said he would listen to it. Who
That's
knows
so
if they will.
cute.
But yeah, it's a whole scene over there in Baldwin Hills. So In-N-Out, it's a brand that you and I have enjoyed
Yes.
for our entire relationship. When we go on a road trip or camping or something, we always stop at an In-N-Out. What are your initial thoughts learning this is the brand?
Yeah, well, being a SoCal sweetie, I grew up with In-N-Out, which I don't believe they're even close to Ohio, right?
No,
What's the
but we'll
closest
get
one?
there. There's some big news coming up in 2025.
Well, that is huge. I was one of the lucky ones who got to grow up with In-N-Out. There was an In-N-Out maybe 5 minutes from my house. And it was like the tiniest building in the world. It might have been 10 by 10. It didn't have any inside seating. It was, you could go in and order at a counter, but all the seating was outside. Very California, all the seating's outside. And then it had double drive-throughs. The drive-through line would extend 40 feet into the road.
Always. That's the thing. I love In-N-Out, but it is always like, okay, am I willing to? It's going to take 30 minutes to get through the drive-through, no matter what time of day.
Well, in my experience, and maybe this isn't true if you've worked at an In-N-Out, please correct me. When I'm deciding the drive-through line is really long, and I'm assuming also the inside line is quite long. When I am in the long drive-through line, my food is colder because even if it's ready, like I'm not getting it when my food is ready. I'm getting it when my car is ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like inside, even if it's a long line, they call your number. You get to go up and grab it and start eating. I feel like sometimes in the drive-through line, you're getting your food, your fries are they're a little cold.
The fries are always a little. That's not my favorite
People have their
aspect of the
issues with
restaurant.
the fries. Yes.
I will tell you, if Lindsay Snyder, the president of In-N-Out, heard what you just said, there'd be meetings for the next year on how are we going to solve this? I have never seen a company that is so devoted to the customer experience as this company.
And I do love that.
The customer experience is literally everything to them. It has been for 75 years. I think that's why everyone loves it. It is one of those places, I will say, I feel like the product you get looks exactly like the photograph that you see on the advertisements.
Absolutely.
It's always right, no matter what you throw at them with the secret menu.
You've never had a wrong order?
Have you?
No.
I've never had a wrong order.
That is really impressive because I feel like at least once a month you get a wrong order at a fast food place.
Not at In-N-Out. Maybe that's why I wanted to do this brand. This brand is very they're good.
And you can get really creative. I'm sure you're talking about the orders and everything. For 15 years, I was a vegetarian. I now dabble in meat. I have meat maybe like once a month. But 9 times out of 10, my meat little rumspringa is on an In-N-Out burger because I think that is the only meat worth straying to.
And the secret menu, I mean, everyone knows that everyone calls it the not so secret menu. It's posted on their website. It's not secret. But there's such a long list of customizations. And that's something else I'm going to say about In-N-Out. In-N-Out, yes, so they've now branched out to Texas and other states. So it's not just a California company anymore, but it is definitely quintessential California. People associate with California. So it's one of those things that I think everyone wants to visit when they come to LA or California. They want to see the Hollywood sign. They want to see the Walk of Fame. They want to go to In-N-Out. And I would say 9 times out of 10, the people that do are like, yeah, I had it. I don't get it. It's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, they want to not like it. It's like, one, it's been hyped up too much, but it's better at, my place at home does blah, blah, blah. It's like, the thing about In-N-Out that I will say, it is an art to ordering. There are so many customizations that you can do it. I read my order in the intro. That is truly my order.
It's absolutely insane.
My order's not that weird. There's a lot. You can get chopped up chilies in it. All I'm saying is it
Flying
takes...
Dutchman, you ever have that one?
Yeah. Do you know who it's named after?
Who?
The founder. He's Dutch.
Oh, cute.
And it was what he always liked to eat. And that was his nickname. He was really into racetracks. That was his nickname. Fine. The Flying Dutchman.
In my high school yearbook, there was a contest in my school, and there's a picture in my high school yearbook of a kid that ate a 20 by 20 patties and 20 pieces of cheese.
I love that you say that because I have this later in the show, but I'll bring it up now. So with the customization, the president now, who's, like I said, the granddaughter of the founder, in her book, she talks about she didn't invent this, but she really has tried to fine tune it, the culture of yes. Whatever the customer wants, we say yes as much as humanly possible.
That honestly, that was Starbucks back in the day. Anything the customer asks for, you find a way to make it happen. If they don't like their drink for any reason, you replace it. And that's not part of their culture anymore. In-N-Out does feel like that spirit is still very much alive, which is so rare these days.
It is. It is.
And as two people who love to complain, we really appreciate that in a company.
I'm going to correct you right there. I don't love to complain.
You love that you have to complain.
No. I don't love that I have. I would love, you know how much I would love to order anything without onions and get home and there's no onions on it? Do you think I'm like, aha, there's onions on it. Now I get a complaint.
I have so many pictures on my phone that you've texted me of patties that are covered in onions.
Or tomatoes.
Or tomatoes.
Look what they did. And I always take the picture with the receipt that says no onions so everyone knows that I'm not lying. But anyway, you've derailed me. The culture of yes, bit them in the butt a little bit. You can order any number of patties, any number of cheeses. And it's like there's the double-double, but there's also the triple-triple. There's the quad-quad. It is now capped at 4. But you can do any combination of those. The reason being, of course, at one time, because you can do whatever you want, a young man in Las Vegas ordered 100 by 100. And they sold it to him. They rung it up as a double-double with 98 additional patties and 98 additional cheese. And put together, it had one bun.
Oh, my
God.
God.
So it's like this one bun, 100 patties, 100 cheeses, sold it to this guy for like $98. And then they're like, you know, we're going to pull back just a kiss, and now we're going to limit it to 4x4. I bet you could probably nudge him to do a 5x5 if you really wanted
Honestly,
it.
with prices at the grocery store, it might be cheaper than buying just burger meat.
That's the other thing I was going to say. When I went last week on my field trip, I got my order, double-double, the extras, everything. The total was like $6.20.
It's
like,
insane what you can get away with there.
Everyone has raised their prices so much. And this is not, I don't mean for this just to be like, In-N-Out's not a part of this. It's not, we're not getting,
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsoring them. I just really like them. Like, I've been everywhere, McDonald's, everywhere. I think there's a couple things that's been going on. We like to keep the podcast light and airy, but I will say, I think with supply chain issues, prices went up. But I do think a lot of brands have taken the opportunity to be like, you know what? This is the moment where we can jack up the price $3, make it a little smaller, and move forward. No one can say anything right now.
I've never seen a price increase at In-N-Out that has shocked me.
Yeah.
Maybe a penny.
Maybe a penny.
One penny, who
We'll
cares?
get to their menu things. Like, they never make a change to their menu. And when they do, it is like, I'll read a quote later. The president's like, I made a drastic change to the menu in 2018. I added hot cocoa. It's like, what? Like, to them, that's like years of meetings. Like, should we do this? Like, it's something they already served. But it's like all these other companies. It's like, we got the Western, gonna bite you in the butt burger. We're going to give you a Superman toy.
Any trend that's like hot honey chicken or whatever
my
they
God.
want to jump on. Hot cocoa, speaking of hot cocoa, I was in there on a rainy day and they give free hot cocoa to kids on rainy days. How cute is that? Hot cocoa with marshmallows.
I guess I'll cross that off my fun facts list. That's good, because I have several fun facts.
And when I was there last time, I had told this story. I texted you guys that I'm in In-N-Out, and there were 2 nuns in front of me in line, and they were like figuring out what to order, and they were like, "Oh, do you have something?" And they said, "Oh, hot cocoa." So these 2 nuns ordered hot cocoa, and we're just like drinking it on a rainy day.
That's so cute.
Full nun.
I want to try full nun. When was
Full
the last time
nun.
you saw a full nun?
The
Habit?
the habit.
Oh, before I get too far into it, I forgot at the store, I did bring you a little something.
Cute.
The
I love
iconic
these.
paper hat.
These are so cute.
There's one for each of us. Now, I hope it's okay. I actually got myself this hat.
Oh, that's fun. I knew you wouldn't leave without some swag.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got was this hat.
That's it?
Well, I did get these shoes. Too. The In-N-Out shoes.
Wait, hang on. You got to open those up.
And then I got the little shoe that matches my big shoes,
Oh my
and
God,
some stickers
Jon.
and erasers and a couple things.
Why are you buying erasers?
Because look how cute they are. It looks like a little In-N-Out. It's like, I don't know what I
Babe,
know.
This is an issue.
It was a Saturday, and I was just enjoying the moment.
You know what I do with my children when they really want to buy something in a store? I say, let's take a picture of it for your wish list.
Oh, I know. I've seen you do this. And I'm like, those sad kids, they're
So
never going to
maybe
know.
next time you want something, maybe you could take a picture of it for your wish list, and then anytime you're thinking of it, you can look at the picture.
Well, I guess my question to that would be, what are your children going to put in their storage unit?
That's a really good point.
It's just going to be empty with like a flash drive drive of all the pictures of stuff
You got shoes.
Here's the thing. The shoes were the
gobsmacked.
only thing I was planning on buying the shoes. The shoes were on sale.
I'm so confused by your life.
I know, but look how cute they are. They were half price.
Are these for wearing or for display purposes?
For wearing. I'm going to wear them.
You
I would
better
have
wear
worn them
these.
here, but it would have ruined the surprise.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
So what is the thing that parents would always say to their teenagers, or people would always say, like, oh, maybe I'll just get a job flipping burgers. Like, that's a bad thing.
Not in my hometown, honey.
Not at In-N-Out. Flipping burgers is like the prize you were trying to get to. When you get hired in In-N-Out, just so you know, every manager there started at the beginning. They don't bring people in from the outside and hire them as managers. Everyone has gone through every job.
Wow.
Which I think is incredible.
Should we do it?
It's like a 1 to 2 year track just to flip burgers.
Really?
Yes. When you're hired at In-N-Out, here's a little bullet point of like the processes that you'll go through. First, you learn how to interact with customers with a smile and genuine friendliness. And I will say, everyone I've ever encountered at In-N-Out is always very like nice and happy. And
Yeah, very friendly.
then you learn how to take orders accurately.
So that's like 2 months on smiling, 2 months on taking orders.
this first
That's the
chunk they said
timeline.
you can accomplish in the first few months, and then you'll get your first raise.
Wow.
They teach you how to take orders accurately. If you'll notice, whenever you take an order, they always repeat it back to you. They always tell you exactly what you're going to get. Then you move on to preparing produce. You core tomatoes, you peel potatoes, you do all that. Then you learn how to host the dining room. Then you learn the drive-through. Then you learn how to cook and serve fries. And then you learn how to put burgers together. And then and only then are you allowed to make the hamburgers. They consider the hamburger their prized possession.
This is so crazy.
It's so crazy. But crazy enough that they now have almost 400 stores. They're in 7 states. 279 cities, which shock me. I'm always shocked by the amount of places there are. I didn't even, like, 279 cities seems like everywhere, but I guess there's probably a billion cities.
You think there's maybe more than 300
we're
cities?
moving on. No,
in
I don't.
America?
Okay, but it's like a lot. If I
It
was
is a
on,
lot, you're right.
If I was on, what was that show? So You Want to Be a Millionaire? And they're like, that's not even how that show works. Yeah, it is. Like, if they're like, how many cities is In-N-Out? And it was like 12, 60, 279, 500. I'd pick 60.
60.
I would have picked 60.
That's definitely the wrong number. I think quite obviously.
Well, yeah, it's 279. We just learned that. It's a privately owned company. The president of In-N-Out now is the granddaughter of the founder. It's only been the founder, his wife, his 2 sons, and now his granddaughter that have run the company. They've all run it with different styles, but the same basic philosophy, all about customers, all about how do you make the perfect freaking hamburger.
We got to marry into this family. I know I'm already married, but I'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, dump David, become a lesbian and date Lindsay. She spells it in a unique way even. It's like L-Y.
I love that. I'll make her my wife.
Lindsay Snyder shall be my wife. She was before probably Kylie or Taylor, she was declared the youngest billionaire.
Whoa. Oh, wow. So she's like,
she's
young.
She's 40. She's like 40.
I need to see a reality show where she finds a husband. Why am I assuming she's single?
She's not single, but, and this isn't even my notes to go into, she is on her third husband. She got married very early, had a couple of like bad
Of course, they were just in it
choices.
for that burger cash. Netflix 10 episodes, get on it.
What would it be called? It's something with In and Out. Her book is called The Ins and Out of In and Out, which I thought was actually
Very
kinda
cute, yeah.
She's very religious. In and Out does have Bible verse numbers on all of their their packaging. That's been going on for like 30 years.
I mean, the food is so good. It's downright divine.
It is divine. I just got that. So, who started In and Out? Harry Snyder and his wife. So, Harry Snyder, born September 9th, my birthday.
Whoa.
Same birthday.
Huge.
1913 to Dutch immigrants.
Your same year.
Can I just tell you, Marissa? You're so predictable. When I typed that, I was like, she's going to say something about, oh, the same year as you, or she's going to make a joke about that. I let it happen. You fell right into it.
You know what? As a 37-year-old woman, there's not a lot of opportunities to make age jokes. Not like I'm exactly a spring chicken. I had maybe like 2 years left.
Yeah, that's true. So make them like,
Hey.
Wait, you're only 37?
Yes.
Oh, shocking.
Wow.
Is your next brand Oil Volet? No. So he's a stickler for details. That's a common thing with Virgos. He had very strict parents. His father was abusive. She touches on that. I was not expecting to find the abuse stuff out in this book. I'm not going to go into a great detail. But what I will say that I found interesting is she talks about how his father didn't give him the love that he wanted or the love that a child should get from his father. So he was always kind of trying to get his father's acceptance.
Interesting.
And he would also prevent him from eating. Like he wouldn't give him food.
As punishment?
As punishment.
Wow.
So I'm like, how, like, it seems so obvious. Like he literally dedicated his life to trying to feed people the most delicious things because it wasn't what he was allowed to have as a child.
Wow, that is intense.
It's intense.
But you know what? Made a hell of a burger.
He made a hell of a burger. So Harry was one of those people, you know, he didn't come from a wealthy family. He did a lot of odd jobs when he was growing up. He worked in a grocery store selling
Buns.
full sandwiches.
Okay, yeah, that's close to.
Yeah. So he sold sandwiches at grocery stores, and he went to college, but had to drop out because he didn't have enough money. Then he enlisted in the army, but he had like a health thing, so he ended up doing like clerk work. He wasn't like
On the front lines.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, in the foxhole.
Yeah, he wasn't in the foxhole. He was in the clerk's office. Then you have Esther Johnson, who was born in 1920. She was a coal miner's daughter, also worked very hard, enlisted in something called WAVES, which stands for Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service. So it was like women that wanted to help out in the war.
Wow.
So you have these two people that are kind of from the same background, kind of doing the same thing. After he gets out of the war in 1947, he goes to shipyards and starts selling sandwiches.
Burgers. Oh,
Well,
sandwiches.
close. We're still
getting there.
we're getting closer. Well, actually, we're the same. So he's selling sandwiches. He said when the ships would come in, he would be making like 1,500 sandwiches. So he's already kind of learning like how you make a bunch of food for
Did he do free hot cocoa on rainy days for the shipmen?
Not yet, but maybe someone on a rainy day was like, if only I had something sweet and hot. But in these shipyards is where the two meet. They fall in love. It's pretty quick that they fall in love, get married.
You know what I'm going to say?
No,
We
what?
got to get Matt Damon in there.
Oh, my God.
I'm
All right.
hearing love story, shipyard.
Ships, it's foggy. You 1,500.
Oh, what does that sound a ship makes? Oh.
Yep, the ship's like, oh. You have like 1,500 like starving men eating
my
sandwiches, a young orphan boy drinking a cocoa.
Matt Damon, we'll say what? Carrie Mulligan. Get her in there.
Matt Damon is a sandwich. No, I love it. We'll pitch it. So they both are dreaming of having this better life. Harry really wants to open a restaurant. The guy's obsessed with food because his father would never give him food. He's in Seattle. He sees a restaurant where people were driving up and ordering in a window. That was something he hadn't seen before. And he thinks to himself, I think I could make a successful, similar kind of business where you serve people in and out like that. In and out.
I think I have to write this movie. I might dust off the old laptop and take a stab.
I'm all for it. I say go for it. Oh, he's also like, where should we do this? They're in Seattle. It's raining. Not the best place for an out. Southern California. Southern California, you have people like veterans after the war. Everyone's coming to Los Angeles and Southern California. The weather's nice. There's the promise of wages that will allow you to buy a home and start a family. It's just kind of like...
What year is this now?
1947.
Oh, so this is like, we're approaching kind of like American Dream era.
Yeah.
1950s LA, California.
Yeah. So he's like, let's go down there. He finds a partner. They put their money together. They have $5,000, which is about $71,000 now. They go to LA. They don't find a perfect place to put up this restaurant. He branches out, ends up in Baldwin Hills. Here, it's about a 20-minute drive. Now, at the time, it is what you would hear about California. It's orange groves. It's like nut farms. It's dairy farms.
Nut farm. We know a thing or two about those. We're a bit nutty.
Oh, right. I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
My husband, David, his family will call California the land of fruits and nuts. So that's kind of like you and me, fruits and nuts.
I'm fruit and you're nuts. That's cute.
That is cute.
We should do an
Is
episode.
that our merch?
Yeah, we cover. You get a can of mixed fruit and nuts. I like
cute.
it. So Baldwin Hills, he's like, there's a lot of people moving there. A lot of these young people are moving there and having to drive into LA. That gives them a car, new families. He's like, I think this is the perfect place to put up our stand.
Love it.
They build this 10 by 10 shack. And I told you, I went and visited this thing. 10 by 10 is small.
Yeah.
That's a small space. And there's like, Kenny said that, I think he said 5 people could be in there at once. I was crowded with just Kenny in there. And then like a family came to like
and
look.
he's small, as you
And
mentioned.
he's a young man. And I was like, I don't know about that, Kenny. And then like this other family came in. I had to step out. Like there was 5 people and I was like, I got to sit. Like, I'm already like a bitch in 1947. I was like, I'll work here alone. But I just do a solo shift.
So it was like a full functioning restaurant. They had like a fryer and like ice cream machine and grill top, all that stuff.
They didn't have an ice cream machine at the time.
Did they have the big potato cutter to make the fries?
They did on the wall. I don't think that was there from the very beginning. Originally, they had to dice those potatoes by hand.
But this is a small footprint to fit like everything you need.
To give you context, it's probably the size of this living room that we're in right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that's the whole restaurant with a drive-through and all of that. And there's like a big Coke refrigerator in it. There's a standing refrigerator in it.
God, we got to get In-N-Out for dinner tonight.
All week. Every day I'm reading this book. I'm like, God, I just want another In-N-Out.
Tonight is the night for sure.
Wait till I post the picture of the In-N-Out I got when on my field trip last week. It is like the quintessential In-N-Out.
I mean, that one better be good. It's like it's the motherland.
It's the
gotta
motherland
be the best.
one. So October 22, 1948 at 4:15 p.m. I don't know how she has it down to the minute.
Love it.
In-N-Out opens for business. They serve 57 burgers on their first day. Hamburgers cost 25 cents. That's about $3.44 today. Honestly, I think that's about what they cost today. I feel like the prices have not gone up at all. I don't know how. And like I was saying before, like it was near obsession with the food. I didn't know like so much.
This is going to cause a lot of like problems with him and his marriage. That's going to be a really dramatic scene. Him and his wife, like he's so obsessed, getting like the lettuce just right. Maybe they have a little fight about it. Maybe it's a dramatic moment in the movie.
Yeah, the lettuce. Did you guys see that lettuce scene in the In-N-Out movie with Matt Damon last night? At first I'm like, I know that they have like hand leaf lettuce, but wow, how they got there.
It's a scene they show at the Oscars, like to show the movie. The nominee.
He's just like slowly ripping like lettuce leaves off. He's all sweaty.
Maybe Matt Damon will be like 70 by the time this movie's being filmed.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to use like the Star Wars like de-aging like CGI to make Matt Damon look like he did in Good Will Hunting to do this movie.
It could be Harry Styles.
Oh, Harry Styles as Harry Snyder.
I love it. Oh my God.
Now we have to use CGI to cover the tattoos. No matter what movie we do, we need a CGI budget. But yeah, it's like everything, like the type of tomato they use, like so much thought, like the pickle, like had to have just everything had to complement the thing. They kept talking about the like caramelizing the bun. I honestly never even knew or paid attention that an In-N-Out Burger's bun was toasted.
The toasted bun,
But it's toasted. And even that, like the buns that they have made, they use like this old, they call it like
sponge dough.
Sponge dough. You know about this.
I read, if there's any paper, like paraphernalia that's given to me by any company, I like read it cover to cover. So like the little paper liner that comes like in your tray to eat in your car.
The lap map. We're going to talk about that.
They have all this like little paper paraphernalia while you're waiting for your food. And it has like the story a little bit about the history. And they talk about the fresh potatoes, the handmade sponge dough. Yeah. Sponge
and they
dough.
use granulated sugar in it instead of liquid sugar, which most bakeries use because they believe that having just those few crystals of sugar in it will give it the caramelization that they want. Wow. And that's the taste that it needs to have to go with the burger, to go with the pickle, to go with the tomato, like to go with all the things. Like it's like he's like Rain Man over here. And I'm like, it's just a freaking hamburger. Like so many people don't care. You go to like McDonald's or anywhere else, you don't even know what you're getting. Like you honestly don't.
Yeah, and the ingredients are so far removed from, you know, maybe their natural state. Not a lot of thought and care has been put. It's mostly about just like what's the cheapest thing we can be that will approximate a bun.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want it to actually like taste as good as possible, which is not really at the forefront of most fast food places.
No, because most things are also owned by giant corporations. And this is really, for 75 years, they just had their 75th anniversary. Last week, they gave me a free 75th anniversary sticker, probably because I bought so much merch. They just had their 75th anniversary, and it's only been run by 5 people in that entire 75 years.
Soon me, when I marry my way into this family.
I would there's your movie. Podcast co-host becomes a lesbian to marry the president of In-N-Out, the granddaughter. She looks a little rock and roll. We'll put a picture of her up, too. Like, she doesn't look exactly like I was expecting her to look.
That's fun.
Yeah, she was born in 1982, and I feel like she's like a fun girl, but really has like moved the company forward. Like, they've all taken the job so seriously.
That's so great.
Okay, so as I mentioned in the intro, one of the big things that In-N-Out should get credited for is basically inventing the drive-through restaurant. So, like I said, Harry had seen this restaurant in Seattle where people could drive up, order in the window, but they're literally like just shouting, like, give me a whatever. So he's like, you know, he had remembered like these speakers that they had used in the army, and he brought a two-way speaker to have at the restaurant. So that's the first time anyone had a speaker. It was so new that he had to put a sign up to explain to people, you don't have to get out of your car, you don't have to touch the speaker, you can just talk into the speaker, we'll hear your order. And that's how we're going to do it from now on. And
changed, I mean, fast food as we know it.
It really did. And the funny thing is that people inside could talk to the speaker too, but they would address you by your car. For the first like 20 years, they'd be like, blue Volkswagen, it's your turn to order.
That's cute.
So that they would know that it's their time to order.
That's fun.
Something else that I thought was interesting for like the first 20 years also with the speakers, they brought them in every night because they were so new. Like they were worried about them being stolen.
Wow.
And people using them for other things. So like they had to pack up the speaker every night, bring it inside, and protect this thing at all cost. You know what it made me actually think of is I keep seeing TikToks now. Is sort of the same kind of thing because it's so new, but a lot of restaurants are experimenting with AI ordering. I know. It's like a robot. And they're like, how can I help you today?
This is
and like
terrible.
They get confused. Like they just like loop and ask the same, like, I'd like a Diet Coke. And she's like, how can I help you today?
I mean, it's like, the same as your Suzy Q's quandary. It's like
you get one mistake on AI before, like it has to be flawless. Like if you're ready to install this.
If I never hear the letters AI again, I'll be happy. And I mean in any word. I don't need them.
Uh-oh, I heard it's going to rain.
No!
Get out! Get out! Okay, so here we are. We've got this tiny little restaurant with this new way of ordering. Things are going great. The 50s, it just, you know, becomes a popular place to go. 1961. It's like a lot of people are hanging out at this restaurant. A lot of the, not riffraff, kind of. It's like, you know, you watch like Happy Days. It's like those people that are...
So the Fonz is hanging out at In-N-Out and they don't love it.
Well, no, you have to remember a lot of the restaurants at the time were like people skating to your car. It was normal to hang out in a place like this. But people are hanging out. They're playing their music. They're honking their horn. A lot of their friends work inside. So they're like, where I'm going with this is these people are acting a little crazy.
Okay.
So they get a nickname from the people that work in and out. It's not in a bad way, but they start calling them the Animals. The Animals.
I just got chilled.
I did too. And I already knew.
Oh my God, I could cry. I love that.
So, 1961.
The audience watching the movie when that comes up, if you could hear like 60 people get chills at once, that's what it will sound like. Like the little like
there's like, you get out of here, you animal. And everyone's like,
I got chills again.
maybe I'll play the part.
Oh my God, what a great cameo.
So one night, one
cry.
of the...
I love companies.
I love brands. I love what we do for free. So one night, one of the benefits of working in and out is like at the end of your shift, you could make yourself a hamburger and have fun with the ingredients. Now, I don't know if because time, this is kind of nicely tied up, but there was a guy that worked there that would make a hamburger. He'd put mustard on the patty before he cooked it. He'd use pickles. He'd use the spread. By the way, the spread was created by Harry Snyder, has not changed in 75 years. It's similar to Thousand Island, but not exactly Thousand Island. They call it spread, not a dressing, not anything else. It's only called a spread. Anyway, this guy's making a burger his way. One of the animals outside is like, that looks good. Will you make me one of those? He makes it. He eats it. He loves it. Comes back the next night. He's like, oh, will you make me another one of those burgers? This goes on for a few days. The guy's like, how should I order this? Like, it's got to be easier than just being like, give me the mustard thing. I'm like, whatever. He's like, I don't know, kid. Just to call it animal style. And an icon is born.
Why does that make me want to burst into tears? I don't know. That is... God, that's beautiful.
That is the beginning.
I cannot believe that is not more widely known.
Well, hopefully now 1,000, 1,500 people will find out listening to the podcast.
I mean, if you want a fun fact to knock your friend's socks off.
How did Animal Style get its name? A bunch of rowdy teenagers with an appetite for a unique hamburger.
That is just stunning.
Okay, so 1961 not only brings us the Animal Style burger, this will be less exciting because we don't use it today, but at the time it was freaking genius. From the beginning, because people would be eating in their cars, Harry would take the butcher paper or the bun paper that he got, and he would cut it up in squares and give it to people to use on their laps while they were eating, or to use on their bench seats of their car so their car wouldn't get dirty. Then they started moving to plastic, so he didn't get that. So he's like, I'm officially going to make these. So he had them made out of pink butcher paper for a while, like an official lap mat. And then one day he was having something printed, and a printer was like, you know what you should do? Print a map of Los Angeles on this with all the locations. They now had 8 locations.
That's really cute.
Of In-N-Outs on it. People will keep this map in their glove compartment when they need to get around town, and they're always subliminally going to be like, oh, and there's an In-N-Out over there. I'm going to go there.
Did you race to eBay to find one of these?
I did. I did. Not to buy one. A couple of things I looked up, because they also have these coins that you can get for a free burger, like a metal coin that they've given out for years.
Wow.
I want one of those coins almost as much as I want the Tom Cruise cake. Nah, I want the Tom Cruise cake more. But I actually thought, like, if this podcast turns out well, that the episode's good, I was going to send it to like the president's like Insta and be like, hey, if you like it, you know what I'd really like is one of those burger coins for my collection. But anyway, I thought that was a genius marketing thing, because it's just something people would keep and let them know.
What are they going for on eBay?
I didn't even end up finding one that for the lap maps that I could buy. I just saw some from like the In-N-Out archives. It's one of those things that are probably super rare because they were meant to be thrown away.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles Mackenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Now I'm just kind of going through some timeline stuff when things came around. 1963 is the introduction of the double-double. That's probably their most famous like hamburger. 1972, we're jumping ahead 10 years. This is one of my favorite things because it's very personal to me, which I was not expecting. So I don't know if you know this, but at almost any In-N-Out, there is a pair of crossed palm trees.
Yes.
So not everybody knows that. Not all of them have it, but a lot of them do. And when you see my picture on Instagram of the hamburger I got, you can see the crossed palm trees in the background. background. So the origin of that is what I found so fun. So I guess Harry Snyder, his favorite movie was It's a Mad, 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 Mad World from the early 60s. But the whole movie is like this rich guy's like, I've buried a treasure. You guys all have to go find it. Whoever finds it first gets it. It's buried under the big W. And nobody knows what that means. And it's like all these people are going across the country trying to find this thing. They find it in California. They still don't know what it is. They're looking around, and you can see it in the background, and there's 4 palm trees that are shaped like a big W. I just got goosebumps again because it's so like, oh my God, there it is. So anyway, the reason I bring it up is because my mom and I watched that when I was a kid, and I don't remember a time where she laughed more in her life. And it's just such a personal moment for me. And that movie has always been like a lifelong favorite because of that moment. And I love that he loved it so much that he's like, we won't do the W, but we should have some sort of symbol. So he decided to do the X. The way he saw it is, if you find the X, my restaurant and the burger that I make you is the treasure you're looking for.
X marks the spot.
And I just thought that was really sweet, and I had a little bit of a connection to it.
That is so cute.
Very cute.
Oh, I love this man.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, in 1976, he passed
I can't marry him.
away.
Oh, no.
And this is one of those people, like, he smoked a lot. Lung cancer caught up to him. There was nothing he could do.
You know, that's kind of sounds a little like off character from what I would expect for somebody who really like cares about like the taste and the flavor, because like smoking like doesn't compromise your taste, but as you mentioned with Pringles after you stop smoking,
whatever it took to make that hamburger, if he needed to have some smokes, it's just also that time period.
Yeah,
he
just seems like he's really like health conscious particular, but I guess it was a time that just like literally everybody smoked.
Well, it's funny you say that, because at the replica, they even have a replica cigarette machine like at the drive-thru, so the passenger could buy cigarettes while the driver was grabbing their hamburger.
And even like the religious thing too, that is for some reason none of it is feeling smoker, but yeah.
He wasn't he wasn't. His wife is very religious and wanted him to be. It's interesting you say that, because on his deathbed, he accepted Jesus. And so the family was very relieved that at the very end finally came around and they can know that
he's in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for yes.
If anybody's getting into heaven, it's him.
Definitely, because God's hungry for a burger. A double-double. So Harry passes away in 1976. He has 2 sons. Guy is the older son. Rich is the younger son. They were born within like a year of each other. So his son, Rich, his youngest son, ends up becoming president of the company. He's only 24 years old at the time.
Wow.
Who are you thinking to cast for him?
Jacob Elrody.
Perfect. So the movie's really coming together. I hope Lindsay Snyder hears this, and she definitely has money to throw at this project.
Well, I would say if she wants to work with me, nobody else can take this idea. I know it's really good. So I have a copyright on it. Nobody else is allowed to take it.
I just saw you notarize that copyright while we were talking on this pod, so nobody else can take this.
Legally, you cannot take it, and I will sue your ass.
It is January 14th, 2023. Nobody can take it.
Is he fit to run a company, or is he like a party boy?
All of these people were raised in this atmosphere, so they also were like looking for acceptance from their father. I think he got acceptance a little more than the older brother did, which is probably why he ended up being the one that ran the company first. But yeah, in a way, all of them, even Lindsay, who ends up taking over, you think maybe they're too young, but it was so ingrained in them.
Yeah.
Like, they all had different styles of how they went about it, but at the core of it, from what we see, kept it kind of all the same and sailed the ship in their direction successfully.
I mean, it doesn't feel like you've noticed over the years of In-N-Out, like any big like shift in like the brand. No, like kid came in with like to a board meeting with like a backwards hat and sunglasses and be like, I think instead
Nuggies.
of we have Nuggies.
Why do we have Nuggies? They're like, it took us, you should see, like, when I'm going through the timeline, it'll be like, this happened. Every 10 years was the only menu change. It would be like 1971, we brought Sprite to the menu. 1984, we added Dr. Pepper. And like, those were the only changes. Like, every 10 years, some beverage gets...
You can get milk there. Ugh. You can get a cup of milk. You could eat your burger with a cup of milk, and they can't stop you.
That's the yes culture for you.
That's right.
So one of the things I learned that I wasn't expecting to learn, but Lindsay wrote the book, so she must...
We have to believe her.
...be okay for her to be out there. About 8 years or so, a few years after Harry passed away, Rich remembered that he was abused as a child. So he goes to his older brother and was like, were we abused as kids? And his brother knew this and had tried to protect his younger brother from it. It was something that he didn't really remember. It was something that he had to come to terms with.
Wow.
It was something that was carried over. Harry carried over because that's what happened to him. I think his dad was passionate. It's also probably of the time.
It's hard to break a cycle.
It's hard to break a cycle. These guys did. They ended up creating a foundation that supports children and abused children and doing good with that. And unfortunately, just part of canon of this story, it was nipped in the bud. Rich didn't have children, and Lindsay's the only granddaughter, and she adored both Rich and her dad.
And she will be my wife.
She will be your wife in the movie. You're just like this weird character in the movie lurking in the background.
It strays from truth only in the end when I marry her. The rest of it is 100% true.
Yeah, it never gets to that point. It's just one of those things at the end of the movie. There's like the big paragraph. Like in 2024, Lindsay Snyder and Marissa Penson married on Fiji Island. Lindsay mysteriously died 4 years later. Marissa owns
her fortune inherited.
Yeah.
And nuggies were introduced to the menu.
Nuggies.
Huge overhaul.
2 years after nuggies were introduced to the menu, In-N-Out closed its last door. The end. Okay, so they dealt with that. Rich also, he had kind of he went through things as we all do when he's younger and given giant companies to run. He found God in the 80s, and that is when the Bible references. He's the one that introduced those.
They do have on the bags, there are 2 boxes that say like charities, like, are you being human trafficked or something? And they have like a human trafficking thing. There's 2 phone numbers. I think maybe one is child abuse, but it's like there's 2 phone numbers on the bags, like promoting like different causes.
Yes,
so
and those newer foundations you're talking about, those are things that Lindsay has introduced since she's been president, because those are things that are on her heart. So they do try to do a lot of good things. She actually added more Bible verses to the rest of the packaging that didn't have them. And each one has a specific one. There's a list in her book, and
thou shalt eat every fry.
It's not exactly what I meant, but like all the fries have the same verse. And they don't even put the whole verse, they just put the number. So it's you can go look it up. And one of them is, I used to say a Bible verse when I was young, because it was John. I don't know the Bible very well, but because it was my name, someone had given me a card. And the verse was, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever shall believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And I would read that each night because someone had given it to me and it was my name, and I just, it's something that from my childhood. That is one of the passages that they have.
I like to think about that Bible verse, except you're the John.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too.
I'm going to read that every night.
Wearing a robe and wearing my In-N-Out sneakers and my new 90s cap. All right. So 1992, huge thing for In-N-Out. We'll just say it. We don't even have to discuss it. They switched from Pepsi to Coke.
Thank God.
Enough said.
Enough said.
I'm in for life. 1993, Rich passes away from a very unexpected plane crash. It's awful. It's like a week before Christmas.
Oh my God.
Him and his brother had kind of been on bad terms for a few years. He had been bouncing around on their private plane. They had a private plane to do business on. Had gone to visit his brother. They'd kind of made amends, but not completely. But they had hugged, and that was a big thing for Lindsay. He's coming back home. They're literally landing at the airport in this small plane, get caught in the wake of a giant plane, which I didn't even know
that could happen.
Thing. And the wake pushes their plane down into the ground, killing everyone. But what's insane, and again, forgive me for not knowing his name, there was Rich and then number 2 in the company. They had this standing rule that the 2 of them would never fly together because of circumstances. Number 2's plane was going to be a little late. Rich was like, listen.
No.
Just come with us. It's no big deal. They had already been to like a few places in the last couple of days. Didn't think anything about it. The plane goes down. Number 1 and 2 is gone. Like, can you imagine? And they really did seem to treat every manager, employee, like they've known them. Some of these people have worked at In-N-Out for 50 years. Like,
this is devastating.
It's really big shock to the system. So Harry's wife, the grandmother, who the co-founder, becomes the official president. Son number 1 is kind of running things now, which he did not want to do. He had moved up north, was living on a ranch, just didn't want that to be his life, but stepped up to it and did it and was successful at it. He ends up passing away early too in his 40s. So now Lindsay's lost everyone by this point. Her grandparents are gone, her parents are gone, and she takes over the company.
Everybody should know the story of this family. This should be taught in school.
Thank you. This is what happens when I read a book. This is what happens when I read a book and I don't just look at Wikipedia.
There are always secrets in books.
She doesn't do it right away. She put someone else in charge because she didn't think she was quite ready. So I think for like 3 years, it was an interim. Her brother-in-law actually ran the company. And then when she was ready, she stepped in and now she's been in charge of it. In 2013, Bloomberg News said that she was officially the youngest American woman billionaire. She's grown the company in great ways. The culture under her seems to be appreciated by everybody. In the next couple of years, they are opening in Tennessee, which is the farthest east they've ever gone.
Wow.
So, they grow at a pretty slow pace. It's a very deliberate pace. But now that they're going to be in Tennessee, like they'll eventually get everywhere. It'll take a while.
Well, I've heard that they don't expand because they do want to kind of keep a close eye on all of their stores, but also because nothing is ever frozen. They have to be close proximity to like fresh beef and fresh veggies.
Yeah, with their distribution center, every restaurant has to be within driving distance of it. I think I saw somewhere it said 500 miles of it. So to have that Tennessee store, they'll have to open a distribution center, which means if they're spending the money to open that there, they'll be expanding in that area. And I've also heard that they also only grow at the speed that they have managers that have
ready to graduate?
Basically, who they consider good enough to be managers for the store, who've gone through everything and they're confident will run the store the way that it needs to be run.
This is very exciting for Tennessee.
Oh my God.
If you're a listener in Tennessee, I'm curious if you knew this or not.
And like any state around it, because people freak out about this thing so much. So that's where they're headed. That's kind of, I didn't go too much into like Lindsay's reign, but she's doing very well. She seems like a cool president. I'm curious that she has 4 children now. I don't know their ages. They are now the only blood relatives that if it were to continue with a family member, it would be one of them.
Well, after the success of the movie, that might be a good Succession-style TV show.
Or if you're married to her by then, maybe one of your children will end up being the heirs of In and Out, which I think
wouldn't that be something?
Oh my God. I could honestly see it happening. So
that is a fascinating story. So you'd recommend the book if anybody has enjoyed what you've shared here. Check out this book from your local library, The In and Outs of In and Out.
The In and Outs of In and Out. It's a pretty easy read. You learn a lot of stuff. You can supplement it with what you've learned here. Oh, a couple of things, like I was saying earlier, that I thought were interesting about the secret menu that I did not know. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows Animal Style. Everyone knows that you can get your sandwich cut. Do you actually know what the Flying Dutchman is? Just that you brought it up.
I think it's just patty and cheese.
It is 2 patties, 2 cheeses. You can get extra crispy, medium rare, well done, which is very unusual for a fast food restaurant. Here are the ones that I didn't know about. You're going to think this first one's gross. I was very excited about it.
Okay.
Cold cheese.
Oh,
I love cold cheese on a sandwich. I love a hot sandwich with a cold slice of cheese. I didn't know that you could do that.
Cold American cheese to me is hell.
Okay. Just, how you could have approached that? You'd be, oh, that's probably not my thing. I'm so glad that you found something that you enjoy.
You know what? You'd go to a kid's house after school and they would get one of those little floppy craft singles out of the fridge and like peel that open. And that is just like revolting to me.
The other thing on the secret menu that I thought was so cool that I'd never heard about. Have you heard about this? The Flyaway Burger.
No, what's that?
The Flyaway Burger. Popular at restaurants close to airports. You can order a double flyaway style. They will take every component of it and make it individually. So you have a little package of lettuce. So you can take it to wherever you're flying to for people that don't have In and Out and assemble it and heat it there. And you have a beautiful burger to give someone who's never had In and Out before.
Wow, that is shocking. I would say even if you have like a long car ride before you're going to eat it, it might be worth it to do that. So you can reassemble at home because the lettuce, depending on the drive home, it can get a little compromised. Can get a little bit wilted, a little soggy.
I only get lettuce if I'm going to eat it at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for someone like me who's always smuggling meats and chilies and sauces in my luggage and from parties and weddings, knowing that I can order a Flyaway burger, hello.
Does that feel good to be seen?
I love to be seen. This company, there's no better company. We'll never do a better brand than this.
Oh, by the way, follow up from last week. Did you smuggle a lot of meat from the party?
No, just like a big solid Tupperware. But then I kind of lost interest in it.
Is part of like how you enjoy the meat is the thrill of stealing it?
I think it is.
It's like shoplifting.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much meat can I get away with smuggling into my bag?
It's the same thing at weddings. Like, how many arrangements can I get in my car while people are dancing? Like, if you are at any wedding that I'm at, look out the window. Because while everyone's having fun and they're like, oh, should I eat another piece of cake? You'll see me going by the window, like carrying like a big vase of flowers.
You have to wait until the wedding is over to take the flowers.
No. That is a rookie mistake.
You're shoving tablecloths into your trunk.
No, there's certain things you take, certain things you don't. Rentals you don't take. But the things that you want, you got to take them while the wedding's happening because they'll start to clean them up and they'll put them aside for the bride and groom. So you got to get those in your car.
Put them aside for the bride and groom.
The bride and groom don't want
them.
They don't want them because the day after the wedding, they're like, what are we going to do with 45 vases?
What are you going to do with 45 vases?
Storage room. I will always find a place. It's more the thrill. That's what I was saying. So that's in and out. One last thing I do want to say about Lindsay, who's the current president, that I did find admirable. Again, when you read these stories, you don't know if things have changed over time. But according to her, when she was 17, she applied to an In-N-Out. Her father was like, I can get you in and blah, blah. She's like, no, I don't. I kind of just want to do this. So she waited in line.
The original undercover boss.
Yeah. But no, not even that. She was trying to just be an employee. She waited in line for 2 hours, went through the application process, got the job, and worked her way up. Like, I'm sure relatively soon she had to tell people who she was. But, kind of did the same thing that everyone else did. Like, worked in all the different departments at different times. So she went into this loving her family's company and wanting to do well by it. And
we love her.
Thumbs up to her.
We're forever indebted
I
to
wish her
for
well.
everything
If
she's
she hears this and wants to give me one of the In-N-Out coins, which I didn't bring up on here, they have the liberty to give you a little coin that says 1 free hamburger. You're allowed to have 1 menu item of your choice off the menu. Those are now collectible. I looked those up on eBay. Those sell for like $200. If she wants to toss me one, I'm happy to have it. I'd love to add it to my collection.
This has been so fun, and I cannot wait to eat In-N-Out tonight. You know what? I might tell the employee working there that animal style story, the origin of the term animal style.
Oh, good. I was glad I was able to share something new for you. This has been a super fun episode. I have no idea what I'm doing next. I have no idea what you're doing next. But for now, it's all about In-N-Out.
Before we go, I want to give a shout out to a brand freak, Wilson VRN. Shouted out to us on Instagram to say that you're not alone in noticing that Pringles have lost some of their flavor dust, specifically the sour cream and onion Pringles. Now, there was a debate. This person says that it's Lay's that have the green flecks on sour cream and onion.
Really?
Is that your memory?
No, my memory was definitely Pringles.
Okay, I'm going to uncrinkle a bag for you. Reach in there. Take a little bite. These are sour cream and onion Lay's.
Oh my God.
They are positively riddled.
It is riddled with green flecks.
So taste this and see if this is the flavor you're thinking of.
Well, I know what this tastes like.
Oh my God, that's good.
I couldn't resist.
In my memory, yes, it is the green flecks on Lay's sour cream and onion. But I wasn't sure, so I had to get a bag to see for myself. And I have very much enjoyed having sour cream and onion Lay's in the house.
It's a great chip.
It's perfection.
It's such a good flavor. But I do still think that Pringles had them also.
So if you think you remember Pringles having green flecks, write to us. And also write to us on Instagram if you have any brand news you want us to cover or a brand you want us to talk about or any thoughts in general on In-N-Out. Were you as shocked as we were to find that the origin of the term animal style? And please, if you haven't already, give us a lovely review on Apple Podcasts, a 5-star review. We would really love to bump that score up since early on we got a 1-star review. We're trying to counteract the negative impact of that.
And I do want to say, it looks like this week we got about 8 new 5-star reviews, and it still stayed at 4.7. That is how hard it is to move the dial on this thing.
Pretty wild stuff. But anything you guys do, we're so grateful. We so appreciate you guys listening. And we'll be back next week with an all-new episode of On Brand.
And I'm going to throw out our latest attempt at coming up with a signature sign-off. This one comes from Minor Talent. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. And be sure to save a life and give blood.
See ya.
Bye.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.